Here we have the current stock market update for GameStop Corporation, stock ticker GME. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders will be able to find this information more easily on the platform. So as we can see here, we have a 5-minute price chart. We're going to try to zoom out to begin with to try to look at the broader picture here. But then we will be zooming in to see whether or not recent price action, is ready for further declines, or if we think that we're ready to start moving higher. So each candle on this chart will represent a 5-minute trading period, and as we can see here, the share price movement, this most recent rally into the upward direction, has started to now encounter some very important resistance levels right near 2282. So that would be essentially this price zone here. And as we can see, the slow drift lower that has started to unfold here does raise some very important questions for everybody that's long this stock. So I think in the last video, one of the main questions that I was asking here was whether or not we thought that share prices were going to start basing here with a series of sideways consolidation type moves, kind of a neutral, kind of a basing sideways type move, or are we sort of rolling over here into further decline? So I do think that those are sort of the two kind of most plausible outcomes, the most possible outcomes at the moment. And there are real questions here about what is going to happen next. So we're either going to see share prices just kind of roll over out of this 2282 resistance zone and then fall lower. Or we're going to see share prices base here and then make another run higher. So how are we going to know the difference? I mean, I think that's sort of the main, the main issue here. How will we know if share prices are going to start heading lower or start to move higher? Well, one area that I would be pointing to here does come in right near this 2150 level. I think it's a little bit below 2154. I would call it roughly 2151. And here, if we do see a bounce, if we do see share prices move lower, sort of into this 2151 and then start to bounce, I think that then that's when you can start to expect to see a break of that 2282 resistance zone. However, if we see a share price break below 2151, I think that that's a major warning sign, because then at the very least, I think you'd be looking at a price movement down toward roughly 2070. The reason I point to this level is that it would be the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement of this major trending move higher. And ultimately, this would put this entire trending move then at risk. So in many ways, I do think that this 2151 level is critically important. We're not quite there yet. Currently, we're trading at 2217. We still have a bit more time before the market's closed today, 2 more hours. So we will have to see how share prices close at the end of the day today. And this will affect the outlook. But the major issue is whether or not we're actually able to bounce out of that 2151 area in the event that we do trade lower. We're not far away at the moment. We're about 65 cents away, 70 cents away at the moment. So it really wouldn't take much of a movement to the downside to really test this level. And then we will have to see how markets behave and react once that occurs. A share price movement lower, I think that you're looking at some deeper declines here. But if we do see share prices move higher, what would then be the ultimate outcome? Like, what would be possible at that point? So first, what I would be looking at is a bounce off of 2251 that is actually able to break above 2282. Then initially what I would be looking at first would be the top of this prior price gap, which was developed during the September 11 trading session. If you remember, this is what happened after the company most recently reported its quarterly earnings. There was a major dilution piece of news in that report. And share prices gapped lower quite severely. But price gaps to the downside can have positive, arguments or assessments too, because in most cases, or in many cases, what you will see is that price gap starts to be filled after share prices move back into the price gap. So there were real questions about whether or not too much time had passed between the formation of the price gap and the eventual move higher. But what we have seen so far is that the majority of that price gap has actually been filled. Currently, we have less than 40 cents left to refill that entire price gap. So We did fill the majority of it, so that does start to sound like you will see a full fill of that price gap, and that does allow the stock to kind of generate some free momentum, so to speak, some added fuel to the upside price movement, because that really is sort of an escalator right up to the 2320 level. But first, we do need to break through 2282, and in my view, the real issue is whether or not share prices move back into that 2150 area and then fall through there. If we do see that, I do think that you could be in store for a much deeper retracement. If we do test this 2320 area and overcome that area, the next level to the top side then to watch would come in at that $25 mark. That would be a very important price zone, because as we can see here, this is really where share prices took a major dive. I mean, we saw a major price movement lower. So, the real question at that point would be, does this happen again? I mean, if we move back into the $25 area, do you see prices fail there in the same manner, or have we seen a stabilization here coming in right around this 1943 area? So as you can see, we do have kind of a double bottom here. It's a rough double bottom. It's not an exact double bottom, but a rough double bottom coming in at right around 1930 and 1940, really. So there is enough of a proximity here. These price levels are close enough that you can really refer to that as a double bottom. So the question at that point is, is this enough of a base here to serve as a launching pad for share prices to start to move higher? There are some real questions that have to be asked at this point. 2282 is the next major level of resistance to the top side. You have to then get through that 2320 area as well. You could get a little bit of free upside there, roughly 40 more cents of free upside. But then the real question is, do prices start to fail at 2320? If you can break through 2320, I think that you're looking at a retest of $25 per share. And then if you're able to break above there, then you have to start to look at those old highs, which came in at 29.79. So here are some of the price levels that I'm watching at the moment. Here are some alternative viewpoints, a positive viewpoint and a negative viewpoint, to kind of see how things actually unfold here. Here's the current stock market update for GameStop Corporation, stock ticker GME. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.